separated 4 times before we ended up getting divorced ultimately anyway.
Really? How far into the marriage was would you say the first separation?
2 years.
Because you were married for what, 13 years?
Yeah, 13.
And so 2 years in, there was a separation.
Yep.
And then you come back, and then
Yep.
it's another separation.
Yep.
Wow. So why not just break off? Why stick it out for 13 years?
For the kids.
Because it almost seemed as though the way that we're framing this, it kind of seems like an arranged marriage to an extent because of the kids.
Yeah. Listen, you're torn because I was never in love with their mother. Love to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this before, and people got so mad that this obligation that just because you lay with somebody now, it's sort of an 18-year sentence of some kind, or beyond that, because it's forever. And there's resentment there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you do have these children, and you want to try to do your best to do right by them. And in a couple of those separations, especially with the younger child, he didn't know me. He'd come over, he'd be dropped off at my house, and, he'd cry for however long, and he wouldn't want to be there. And it's understandable why he wouldn't. If we were never supposed to be together like this in the first place, but we have these children, it's a two-parent situation. It's not one.
Yeah.
It's not, we both have to do what's right for them. And you're right. What we should have done was just separated for good then.
Yeah.
And we didn't. And the last separation that we had, and we came back, it was because of that. It was like now I was 98, so he's 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still feeling that way, even though he's been living in the house with me, and now he's back gone again. And I was just like, listen, I need some time so I can have a better relationship with him.
Yeah.
And ultimately, once I felt like that was the case, it was time to move on.
Yeah. What about,
I mean, if we're going to be honest, if some of our parents were to be honest with us, so many of us were not born out of love. It was just two horny people. They got together, and there you go. You were born. If we're going to be honest, two horny people, whether it was a one-night stand, it was a fling for a couple of months, it was somebody was cheating with somebody, and then there you are, your mother got pregnant, they were toxic, whatever it is. Very few people get born out of love. Let's just be honest. If our parents were to be honest with so many of us, it would be the truth.
Like, what was the nail in the coffin? What was because see, you had been through the separations multiple different times, right? But then eventually you guys come to the conclusion, all right, you know what? We just gonna go our separate ways. What's that nail in the coffin that then leads you to say, or leads both of you to come to the conclusion that you guys are no longer good together in any capacity, regardless of whether or not you have kids or not?
I think we always knew we weren't that.
Okay.
I think she may have been lying to herself if she thought otherwise. For me, when I realized I could parent those boys without her, I could be a good parent. I could be there for them, and I could give them what they needed from me without being married to their mother.
Yeah. Do you think that the kids were the thing that kept y'all together as long as you were?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So many people stay together for the kids, especially men. Most men don't want to get divorced because of the kids. Well, for one, because as soon as you get divorced, the kids are usually given to the mom. Because remember, guys, when there's a divorce happens, the guy is usually kicked out of the house. Once the judge says, okay, you guys are going to separate, he or she will give custody mostly to the mom, like 90%. The mom needs a place to stay since she's going to have the kids most of the time. So the dad has to leave and go get rent. But now the dad is paying rent on his house or apartment, wherever he's staying. And then he still needs to pay rent or mortgage to the house where the mother and the kids are living. So guess what he's not going to have? enough time to see the kids. Because before, when he was working, he could at least see the kids when he comes home, right? Whether in the morning, on the weekends. But now, since he has to work so much to still pay rent for himself and to take care of the kids and the mom, guess what? He's not going to have enough time to see the kids because he's not even living in the same house, right? So most guys, when they look at that, once they do the math, most guys just decide to stay in the marriage for as long as they can.
Because I see so many guys going through the same thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys wind up separating for good. Does the relationship, and when I say relationship, you know, the dynamic between you two, is it ever good afterwards?
It's not bad. Do you know what I mean? We didn't talk unless it had something to do with the kids, which was great.
Yeah.
You know, so we separated in 2001.
Okay.
We'll get into the finances later. We divorced in 2003.
Okay.
So for those 3 years, they lived in LA and were back and forth between our two houses. When we got divorced and she got her final settlement, she wanted to go move to North Carolina, be closer to her parents.
With the kids.
And her money would go longer, obviously.
Did you, and now I'm okay if you don't answer this question. Do you feel like you got taken to the cleaners financially?
No.
You don't? Why you say that?
Because it could have been a lot worse.
How did it, how were you able to get through it without it being as bad as it could have been?
Because I'm a really, really, really smart guy.
That means he had a good lawyer because they lived in California. For those of you who don't know, this is the legendary Brian McKnight. You probably heard some of his songs. I don't know. I would have to research them, but you guys probably have heard so many of his songs. So he's talking about divorcing his ex-wife and how much he had to pay child support, but he's saying it could have been worse. Clearly, he had a good lawyer, which he's rich, so most guys don't have good lawyers.
Yeah.
And I played the long game.
Okay.
I made sure to make it as attractive to her as I could.
Okay.
Without giving up anything that I didn't assume I was going to have to.
So did you lose any, because a lot of times for us regular people, right? For us regular folks, you know, we have pensions and 401ks and all of these type of things.
Right.
For someone like you that has, you know, you're a writer and publishing and all of these different things, did you have to give up any of that?
Yeah, so that's the only part that stung. I had to give up a percentage of the songs that I wrote during the marriage.
Damn.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
That hurt. That hurt because I wrote those.
Yeah.
I wrote that. But at the same time, she could have taken the house.
Mm-hmm.
She could have taken the other property. So ultimately, I can write more songs.
Right.
But those ones, those big hits, now you say we should have separated earlier. We should have separated in 95 for good.
Yeah.
Because that's that anytime back at one superhero, that isn't a part of the deal. But, you know, what I thought at the time was, and of course, it's a double dip. You're getting spousal and child support and a piece of these. So, you know, the revenue that I would be using to pay those, now you're getting a piece of that too.
So wait a minute. You had to pay spousal support.
Mm-hmm.
You had to pay child support.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And you had to give up a percentage of your songs.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Damn. Yeah, and he's married again. So I don't know what he's gonna do this time around because he's remarried, right? So I don't know if he's gonna do it any different. Maybe he has a prenup. I don't know. You know, because some guys, especially celebrities, after the first divorce, the next time around, they usually get prenups. Those who are smart, those who are not in love, like the Disney fantasy, right? But that's crazy.
I don't know how you feel like you got ahead then. That's what part I'm trying to figure out. Is it just because she could have took more?
Yep. In California, it starts at 50.
50%.
It starts at 50?
At least then it started at 50, and then they start seeing what else they can take. So that wasn't anywhere near 50% of what I was worth.
Yeah.
So I felt like,
Those are still your babies, though.
They are my babies. They are. But I couldn't, once I write them, they actually belong to the public.
Yeah.
From that perspective, from a sentimental standpoint. And because there was no emotional currency in those songs, it was really just how I funded my lifestyle necessarily.
Yeah.
And even when I say that, people get mad. You mean to tell me that wasn't written for someone? Like, no. The whole point of me learning to write songs was, if I'm waiting on emotional currency, I'm gonna get writer's block, because nobody can live that much. I have 20 albums.
Yeah.
In the relatively short period of time. So I just write. I'm a product of every environment that I'm in.
She had moved on with her life.
Right.
You had moved on with your life.
Correct.
And then now the oldest no longer wants to go to school.
Doesn't want to go to school. Because remember, she took them from LA with all their friends, took them to North Carolina.
Was that against your will, or?
No, I didn't want to cause any problems. I understood that, you're getting $18,000 a month. It's going to go way.
Wait, I'm sorry. How much?
Oh, I didn't tell you how much.
How much were you paying?
$18,000.
Is that child support and
$10,000 spousal? Wait, $8,000 spousal, and then 5 and 5 for the 2 kids.
Okay, wait a minute. So how long were you supposed to be paying spousal support?
So the spousal support was supposed to go until the younger one turned 23.
What? That's a long time, man. Because if they divorced in the teens, so maybe like 10 years, that's a long time of paying $18,000 a month. Not a year, a month. Now, obviously, clearly he's rich. If the judge made him pay that, then clearly he's rich. But that's a lot of money. I mean, for you guys out here, for the rich guys in here watching me, that's something for you to think about. Yeah, everything is good now, but when it's time for her to cash in, you got to think about it, right? And ladies, I know, but I got to talk to my guys. That's something you got to be willing to part ways if you got money like that. But if you don't have money like that, the $500 a month for child support or that $1,000 will hurt you as well. Remember? Because now you're splitting between yourself and the household. Before you guys were together, maybe she contributed, but now you have to pay for her the lifestyle, the kids, and then your lifestyle. So I don't care how much you make, it's still going to hurt.
$8,000 a month until the younger one turned 23 years old?
Yeah. But that's also including his child support. So it would have been $13,000 until he turns 23.
Wait. But I thought that child support would end when they turn 18.
No. I agreed to that because I had a lot more going on at the time.
That's highway robbery. I'm sorry.
It was, but it was nothing compared to what it would have been. So
I'm sorry. Sense. That's highway robbery.
Yeah,
but listen, it gets even better than that. So
that's more than $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's right up there. It's right around that. So when they turn, so that's going on from 14 and 11 till 18 and 15. So the oldest turns 18. He wants to come back to California.
Mm-hmm.
So I say to her, listen, I don't want them to be separated. They want to be in music. They're getting good. I'll take them both back. But I'll continue to pay the child support if you're worried about not getting that extra.
Wait. So you were willing to continue to pay the child support, even though you were also willing to take the children in?
Yeah.
That's a good man.
That's crazy.
The older one, when he turned 18, that $5,000 stopped. So now it's just 13.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just
right.
That's standard procedure. That has nothing to do with you.
He's a good man. So he took the kids back, but was still paying the ex-wife child support. That's a good deal. I think every woman would take that deal, if we're going to be honest. Every woman would take that deal, where the man has to pay her money, but he gets to take care of the kids. Because remember, when it comes to child support, usually one of the parameters is who has the kids most of the time, right? So if the mother gets the kids like 90%, 80%, the man gets to pay more. But sometimes even if it's 50-50 custody, the man still has to pay child support, which for that part, it doesn't make sense to me. But he's a good man. So I think she obviously black women don't like him because after he divorced this black woman he's talking about, his ex-wife, he went on to get him an Asian woman, right? And then obviously his kids, he doesn't want to do nothing with them because they were against him. They went with the mother's side and things like that. But shout out to Anton Daniels. That was a good interview, but that was just a snippet. All right. So